crazy Watchdog News Network.
Well. Hillsboro, here we go again. Today we are going to talk about Hillsboro City Council member Leann Richmond. Because apparently in Hillsboro, representing your district may now mean buying a house outside the city limits, outside the area you were elected to represent, and then expecting nobody to notice. And of course, when citizens start asking questions, here comes the excuses, the Texas two-step, the deflection, and the good old boy damage control machine. Now let me say this up front for all the legal scholars in the comment section. Texas does not appear to treat a party precinct chair the same way it treats certain public offices for purposes of dual office holding. So yes, I'm putting that disclaimer out there now before somebody runs to the keyboard thinking they cracked the case. But here's the real problem. Leann Richmond sits on the Hillsboro City Council. The city charter is very clear. If a council member elected from a precinct ceases to be a bona fide resident of that council precinct, that office becomes vacant. Not maybe, not whenever the insiders feel like dealing with it, not only if the mayor feels like enforcing the charter. It says the office becomes vacant. And residency does not mean I still own a house there. It does not mean I left the couch and a trailer out back. It does not mean I can point to an old address while sleeping somewhere else. Residency means domicile, where you actually live, where you actually remain, where your real home is. According to county property records, Leann Richmond and Andrew purchased this new property on April 20th of 2026. The incident you are about to see happened on June 13th, 2026, nearly 2 months after the deed changed hands. Multiple sources have contacted me claiming Leann has not been staying at the old Corsicana Street house in Hillsboro, that the house appears mostly empty except for some furniture, and that there's a trailer parked out back with no for sale sign seen in the yard. So at this point, it sure looks like the old property may be turning into a rental or leftover address while the real residence is somewhere else. Then another source sent me information the night before this incident claiming Leann had been seen pulling into this new property and nearly causing an accident. So while I was already in the area dropping off live chicks to someone I know, I decided to check whether my sources were right and document what I could legally document. And wouldn't you know it, impeccable timing. Because in this video, Andrew comes out, confronts me, and appears to admit that they live at the new property. Then, just like magic, he tries to backpedal and claim Leann lives at the other house. You can almost hear the political panic setting in. Now remember, both names are connected to the property records. Leann's vehicle has been seen coming in and out of this property. Sources have claimed she is living there. And the city charter does not care about political friendships, insider protection, or who sits with who at Saturday night sidewalk gatherings. Speaking of that, Leann has also been seen with the entitled Little Hillsboro crowd, including Lynette and Raymond Harrell, sitting outside and blocking sidewalks at their property called the Yard, like laws are only for regular citizens. City ordinance, state law, public right-of-way, apparently those only matter when the peasants do it. I verbally notified Mayor Scott Johnson after the EDC meeting on Thursday. And what did he do? He blew it off like it was no big deal. So I was advised to put the mayor and city manager on written notice before this council continues making decisions that may be challenged if a member is no longer legally qualified to sit in that seat. So I sent an email to the mayor and the city manager putting them on notice. Because let me be very clear. If Leann Richmond no longer lives in the city or in the council precinct she was elected to represent, then she does not get to keep voting on your business, your taxes, your water rates, your development deals, or anything else affecting Hillsboro citizens. And that is exactly why people are fed up. These officials want the title, the power, the votes, and the influence. But when it comes to following the same rules as everybody else, suddenly they need exceptions, explanations, and political cover. No more. These people need to be removed from office when they no longer qualify to serve. And they need to be replaced with honest people who actually live where they claim to represent. So before we play this short encounter from June 13th, make sure you smash that like button, drop a comment, share this everywhere, and subscribe to the channel because Hillsboro deserves answers. And as always, sunlight is the best disinfectant. Sit down. No. Just got the proof I need.
About what?
You coming out here and confronting me.
And what proof is this? I'm just asking if you need something.
Nah, I don't need nothing. I got the proof I needed. I'm good.
Okay.
I wasn't expecting you or her to come out, so.
So are you like stalking us? What are you doing?
This ain't stalking, sir.
Yes, I believe it is.
Pulling over and taking video?
Yeah.
And showing that you guys are, at least her, you're not breaking the law, but
What is she breaking law for?
she has to resign from her position.
For what?
She doesn't live in the city limits.
What address does she reside at?
The one that she's actually remaining
what
at.
address is her address?
Doesn't matter what's on it. It's matter where you actually reside.
I live here.
Read the statute. No.
And my address
You
is
and
there.
her. You
I
and
do
her.
not live here.
Everything's out of your house over there.
How do you
Except
know
your,
that?
because people drive by and send me photos and pictures.
Go into my house.
No,
There's
I've never
stuff
even.
in my house.
I've never even been by your house. You know that's all on video, right? So let me get this straight. I send the city of Hillsboro a formal notice about Councilmember Leann Richmond's residency issue. I raise concerns that she may no longer be eligible to sit in her elected Place 5 seat under the Home Rule Charter because she appears to be living at a newly purchased home outside the area she was elected to represent. And what does the city do? Do they launch an independent investigation? Do they request sworn statements? Do they verify domicile, voter registration, homestead, driver's license, where she sleeps, where she actually lives, or whether the old address is just being kept alive on paper? Nope. Apparently, Hillsboro's new gold standard for proving residency is, trust us, bro. City manager Megan Henderson first tells me they take it seriously. Then shortly after, the city's defense becomes that Councilmember Richmond can own and use multiple residences. Well, congratulations, Megan. Nobody said owning multiple homes was illegal. That was never the issue. The issue is domicile, where she actually lives, sleeps, keeps her life, and intends to return. That is the legal question. Not whether she can own more than one house, not whether she can stop by the old house, not whether a faucet runs enough water to make the city feel better. Then came the most telling part. Megan Henderson wrote, a quick review of water usage at Councilmember Richmond's address shows usage consistent with residency. Oh, really? So now the city is openly admitting they looked at water usage to defend her residency, but we are all supposed to ignore video evidence, eyewitness accounts, the new home purchase, and reports from sources that Leann Richmond had allegedly already been saying she was stepping down soon because she was in the process of moving into her new home weeks ago. How convenient. A water bill does not prove domicile. A water bill does not prove where someone sleeps. A water bill does not prove where someone actually lives. A water bill does not override the Home Rule Charter. And a water bill sure as hell does not excuse a city from doing a real investigation when an elected official's eligibility is being questioned. But this is Hillsboro, where apparently the rules are whatever the insiders need them to be that day. When regular citizens are questioned, investigated, harassed, trespassed, or targeted, the city has no problem acting fast. But when it involves one of their own, suddenly everyone needs grace, patience, context, and a nice little quick review from the same people trying to protect the system. Let's call this what it looks like. Damage control, cover-up mode, protect the seat, protect the vote, protect the insider, and hope the public is too stupid to understand the difference between owning property and domicile. Well, we are not stupid. The people of Hillsboro deserve to know whether Councilmember Leann Richmond is legally qualified to continue serving. If she moved outside the city or outside the required residency area, then she should vacate that office, period. And if she continues voting, participating, or taking official action while ineligible, then every action she takes can be challenged, and the matter needs to be referred for proper legal review. This video evidence will be released to the public before Tuesday's council meeting. The city had a chance to do the right thing. Instead, they gave us the water bill defense. Hillsboro deserves better than elected officials playing musical houses while City Hall pretends not to see what is happening. Sunlight is the best disinfectant, and this morning, the sunlight gets a whole lot brighter.
Tyranny, corruption, extortion.
Sunlight is the best disinfectant.
BZ Watchdog News Network.